Hello, everyone. We're going to actually start doing United States and Canada, and we're going to go over politics. So for this, we're going to cover everything that deals with the politics for the United States and Canada. So let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is we want to do our heading, which is politics for the United States. So we're going to put the United States, and then we're going to put politics. And then the first heading we're going to have is the representatives government has a long been practiced in the country because the kings of Britain was too far away to govern us. So the representative government and Britain was too far away. Now, the next bullet is the U.S. has a limited government with a written constitution that makes sure our country was ruled by many. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that the U.S. was limited government, and then we're going to put written constitution. Then the next bullet says the U.S. government is a republic led by a president. So we're going to put the republic, and then we're going to put was a president. And we're going to go on to a next slide. And then we're still up on the U.S. politics. So we're going to go to make sure a government does not become too powerful. Power is divided between three branches. So here we're going to put divided between three branches. And then we're going to write down what the three branches are: legislative, executive, and judicial. And then we have to write down what each one is. The legislative makes laws. Then you have to know that the executive enforces it, and the judicial interprets the laws. Then we're going to go to our next bullet. Judicial review is the ability of the Supreme Court to declare laws unconstitutional. So judicial review is the Supreme Court declares laws unconstitutional. If you need to, you can always stop and pause to write down what you need to write down, but we're going to keep moving on. So now, back in 1790, two opposing groups worked together to create our government. So we're going to write down in 1790, the groups were created the government. The Federalists wanted a more powerful government to make sure our country had safety and security. So we're going to put Federalists was safety and security. And the Anti-Federalists wanted a less powerful government to make sure our citizens had lots of freedom. So Anti-Federalists was a less powerful government. So we're going to move on. To create a strong government that still protected the freedom of citizens, our leaders passed the Bill of Rights, which included. So the Bill of Rights was a strong government, and it had we're going to do the First Amendment was freedom of religion, assembly, press, and petition. So we're going to write down the First Amendment and what it included, which was the freedom of religion, assembly, press, and petition and speech. So actually you need to know all of this. What the First Amendment was: the freedom of religion, assembly, press, and petition of speech with the First Amendment. And the Eighth Amendment, which was the freedom from cruel and unusual punishment. And the 10th Amendment, which limits the power of the federal government and gives some powers to the state. The 10th Amendment limits the federal government's powers and gives power to the states. I'm going to keep moving. Some responsibilities of American citizens include, so this is American citizens' responsibilities of citizens. It's paying taxes, obeying laws, being an informed voter, military service, respecting opinions of others, and jury duty. Pause it if you need to. Moving on. Like the U.S., Canada has a limited government. So now we're in the politics of Canada. So your heading needs to say Canada and then politics. Like the U.S., Canada has a limited government with a written constitution that explains how government operates. So you're going to put Canada is limited government for Canada, which is Canada and limited government. And they have a written constitution as well. Canada has a written constitution. Canada is ruled by many and has 3 branches of government: legislative, executive, and judicial at a national and provincial level. So Canada is ruled by many with 3 branches. And their branches are legislative, executive, and judicial. And then they need a national and provincial level. Then Canada is a parliamentary democracy. Voters elect representatives as a lawmaking body called a parliament, and they choose an official called the primary minister to head the government. So they have a parliamentary democracy. They have a body called a parliament. And they have a prime minister. And that's all you need to know. We're going to move on. Then the British king or queen still reigns as king or queen of Canada. However, he or she has no real power and is represented by the governor general. So you're going to put the governor general and the king or queen has no real power. And then some rights Canadian citizens have that are protected in the Charter of the Rights of Freedom include freedom of religion, voting rights, mobility rights, and language rights. So Canadian rights are protected in the Charter of the Rights and Freedom. So they have the rights to freedom of religion, voting, and mobility and language. And some responsibilities of Canadian citizens include obeying laws, taking responsibility of one's self and family, jury duty, voting in elections, and helping others in the community. So their responsibilities include obeying laws, taking responsibility for oneself, family, jury duty, voting in elections, and helping others in the community. We're going to move on.